The folk club started in 1987 and we'd run for a year, and then some of the locals, actually the Legion, a couple of members of the Legion asked us or suggested it might be an idea to have a festival. So we took it from there really, and basically the festival started a year later, so 89 was the first festival. Yeah, well, when we first started we had the same basic core event, so 3 concerts over the weekend of the festival, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But as we've grown, we now run usually about 50 events we run in addition to the concerts in the town hall. And these include obviously the famous World Paper and Quill Championship, the Achill the Marquee in the Square, workshops, numerous workshops over the weekend. So hugely different to what it was for the first probably 5 years. Since we started off, we've had over 500 main stage guests appearing at the festival in Stonehaven. So that's quite an achievement for our 36 years. We've had world famous people. We've had people like Eddie Reader, Ralph McTell, many of the main stage acts like Manran, Braybach are coming this year again, Dougie MacLean. Dougie MacLean was at the very first festival, as was Capercaillie. So, you know, we have had pretty well high-class acts over the years that we've been running the festival. We tend to use the main stage acts if we can to run workshops, and people will come from afar to go to these workshops because of the artists who are running the workshops. And to be honest, people say that our workshop programme is one of the best there is around in a smallish festival scenario. We decided in 2018 to try for the Guinness World's Largest Ceilidh Band. Huge effort was put into doing this, and we actually achieved the record by having 288 musicians at the Mackey Academy. To allow us to do the counting, we had a very unique system because we cordoned off the hall into sections, and 50 people filled that space with different coloured hats, and that's how we counted the different musicians.
So when I was in primary school, the folk festival sent in a couple of local musicians to teach us some Scots song and stuff, and at the time I'd been learning classical violin, but I was so inspired by these musicians that came in that I decided there I wanted to play fiddle and I wanted to do traditional music, and I suppose that's what's led me up to where I am today. So there's 12 of us on the committee, and for the festival there's roughly about 70 more volunteers who help us out. And my main role is artist coordinator, but I also do a lot of social media and I help with the schools project. The schools project is something that we run in the local primary schools, where we send in a few local musicians to lead a fun-filled week of Scots song, and the kids also have an opportunity to learn a new instrument or two. So we have like whistle, guitar and clarsach. When we're booking the festival, it's important to us that it's not only big names that we have, but we also have a lot of local musicians take part. We like to get like the Scat Youth participants performing in the Marquee, and we've had the Mearns Singers, and even some of our main stage acts have been people who've been attending the festival since they were wee. Having volunteered with the festival since I was a teen, it kind of helped me realise that I wanted to pursue a career in the music industry, and now I've got a degree in traditional music, and the festival is helping me gain a lot of valuable experience in marketing and event management. But to me, the festival is so much more than just like a place to gain experience. It's like a community, and it's always so lovely to see the streets like of Stonehaven just full with music and people walking about and people having a good time.
Hey folks, I'm Arthur Coates. I just want to say a few words about the Stonehaven Folk Festival. I was lucky enough to play at the festival for the first time when I was 11 years old with the North East Folk Collective, and I've been able to come back a few times since then, and it's always an amazing atmosphere and place to be, Stonehaven, that weekend of July when everyone's in town and it's all going. Playing at Stonehaven Folk Festival has been a real highlight for me over the years, and I've been there many times. Last time was in 2019, and we're very much looking forward to come back this summer in 2026. Going to be there with Arthur Coates and Karen Cottrell. So thank you so much to the Stonehaven Folk Festival for all the support over the years, and see you soon.
The Folk Festival attracts nearly 1,000 people to attend its major events, the ones in the Town Hall, Community Centre, St Bridget's Hall, places like that. We get many more people come to the town just to soak up the vibe of the festival, to be around the harbour and other places where people are just playing music. That's probably a good 1,500, 2,000 people just come to the town over that weekend, just solely for the festival. A survey from 2024, for example, showed that of those people who were buying tickets, they spent about £58 per person per day. And again, that's a lot of money going into the local economy. Our estimate's something like around about £58,000. The festival obviously costs a lot of money to run. There's artist fees, there's bookings for places like the Town Hall, there's incidental costs, things like licensing and so on. And all that starts to rack up, because the only way we've really got to recover most of that is through ticket sales. So the only other way that we potentially go to meeting some of those costs is through sponsorship.
Over the years, we've built up a really good relationship with local businesses. In effect, we have a programme and we invite our local businesses to advertise in the programme, and this has been a really successful situation with local business. We really appreciate the support we get from local businesses, because without them we couldn't do this. Not just the actual physical financial support, but the support we get throughout the year. So in particular the Lions, we used to have a big relationship with the Sea Cadets, who helped us hugely over many years running the campsite, which has now been taken over by the Men's Shed, and the support we get from the Men's Shed is really important to us as well. So the organisations like that who help us out. There's a squad of people who come on a Friday night and help us to put up the marquee, Jim Stephen being one of them. That folk just come along and help just because they can, and they're always there. In a way, it goes back to that initial meeting with the council and the police, where it was thought of, oh well, it's just a festival, it's just going to come to anything, And here we are, nearly 40 years later, and we're still running the festival. And I think it's the importance of what the relationships we've built up with the town. So it's that kind of thing that we feel that we're here to help, to thank them for all the help we get.